Good day, my friend. Saturday night. This is our Saturday night review. I'm so glad you could be with us. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you, one and all. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for being a part of our family. Thank you for this. I'm going to give you an overview of a few things. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to make sure that you watch my video tonight on one of my favorite stories of online or airline rage. The story of Gerard Finneran. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Mr. Zola, welcome. Dick Long, thank you. Welcome. Demetrius, welcome. The usuals are coming in. Thank you. Please sit down. Have some crumb cake, please. Watch this video. Send it to others. It is by far the best story anybody's ever had. Ever. I did the story live on WABC regarding what this man did in first class in 1995, and it was, frankly, well, just don't let me tell you. Just I've got the link there. Please watch that. Just when you get some time, watch it. Send it to a friend. I want to talk about what is going on in the world, what you should be paying attention to, the trends, the patterns. These are so interesting to see what's happening. Where is everything moving? Where are things going? What is happening, as it were? What is happening, which is what the cool kids used to say. First, always recognize reference. Mrs. L and I were watching, in fact, it's still going on now. I interrupted it. And we can watch this anytime, of course. From 1985, The Breakfast Club. Remember John Hughes? Remember Ali Sheedy and Judd Nelson and Molly Ringwald and Emilio Estevez and that other guy. And listening to the words that were accepted then, listening and remembering this was so cutting edge and so important, and this is what kids thought, this is what this spoke to a generation, and I thought to myself, they were so different and demonstrative and rebellious and great and wonderful compared to what we see right now. The words that could be said, fascinating. Remember, always make sure you know where you're going. Always make sure you check out the landscape. Always make sure you see and pay attention to what's actually happening in the world. That's all. What's really going on? What's going on in the world? That's all. And also compare. Compare progress. Compare expressions, attitudes, and the like. Just want to throw that at you. Next. The new sweetheart, and somebody I'm getting sick and tired of already, Riley Gaines. Okay, all right, I got your point. You were a swimmer, and the men swam against you, and it's not fair. And you want to, okay, I got it. You're the new sweetheart, Riley Gaines. It's a one-trick pony, very punny, put you in the penitentiary, one-trick pony. Reminds me of that Matt Walsh. All right, I got it. Can you define a woman? No, can you define a woman? I'm bored already. Look at me. I'm a person who thrives on complexity. Take the subject, let it go, let it expand. Quit sticking to the same phenomenally boring, low-hanging fruit, kind of a Jordan Peterson, look at the world. This very simple, and that's not fair. And if you're born a man, how can you compete against women? Are we going to is that it? Well, let me tell you the next thing to note. And always look around. Wall Street is ready for more corporate equity index, CEI, objections and the like, and they are ready for Freddie. You hear what I'm saying? Ready for Freddie. You are going to see something that is so incredible. You are going to see I'm telling you, you are going to see manifestations of change so surreal, so incredible, you're not going to believe it. I'm telling you, Wall Street is ready, and it's not going to make any sense. The boycotts are going to continue. Stock prices are going to go crazy, and yet there will be no shareholder derivative revolt. Nobody will fight back. It'll be the weirdest thing you've ever seen. You won't be able to keep track of all the companies, Disney and Lego and Target, and you will not be able to believe what is happening. I'm telling you. And I'm not asking you to respond, to decide whether it makes sense or not. I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you. It's happening. Wait until you see it. It's going to blow your mind. Get ready. And this is one where you're going to say, why are they doing this? Now, there was a drag ban that was ruled unconstitutional, and I agree 100%. 100%. This was a Tennessee case. A federal judge ruled that a Tennessee law which banned drag shows in public or in places where children could view them is unconstitutional, finding it violates freedom of speech protections. Specifically, they say it was unconstitutionally vague and substantially overbroad. And the law specifically says, quote, this was a quote, it says, an adult cabaret performance is unlawful if it happens on public property or in a location where the performance could be viewed by a person who was not an adult. It defines such a performance as one that is harmful to minors and includes topless dancers, exotic dancers, strippers, and male or female impersonators. That ain't going to work. And I'm 100% in agreement. Rewrite the law, rewrite the ban. That's not going to work. Do not throw away the Constitution and free speech because you're trying to target one particular type of speech. Not good. This will, of course, they'll be called liberal judges and they'll be called all types of stuff. I am telling you, this is a victory for the Constitution. Remember, marketing begins in the light of Target and Bud Light and all of the others. Boycotts are going to be hitting hard. You're going to see this subject matter is going to be at levels that you cannot comprehend. Burning an LGBT flag is considered a hate crime, but burning an American flag isn't. Let me say that again. Burning an American flag is not only legal under the Supreme Court, but it's not the subject of a hate crime, but burning an LGBT flag is. Why isn't that expression? Why is that not the expression of free speech when it applies to the American flag, but not an LGBTQIA? Why? This is just this. Next, pay attention to this incredible image that is happening regarding the evolution and the development of the image of Mr. Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the darling. Elon Musk is everywhere. Elon Musk is, you are not going to believe. You are not going to believe the amount of coverage of Elon Musk. You are going to be Elon Musked to death. Do you understand? I am telling you, he is loving this. Zuckerberg didn't want this. Dorsey didn't want this. Even I don't even know the others. They did not necessarily. They really kind of didn't want this because they were nerdish or whatever. Not Elon. No. Watch what is happening there. Now also, there is going to be something right now, and I want you to listen very carefully. And I want you to not react. I want you just to listen. Notice how they're cutting the connections to Trump. Now, what do I mean by that? You may not be cutting any connections. You may not be cutting any particular form of favoritism. You might say, I'm as strong as ever behind him. It is everywhere. Riley Gaines, America's sweetheart. When's she going to get her Fox show? That's what she's leading for, George. You watch. She's now kind of she's teaming a little bit with Elon, and Elon is showing he's anti-woke, and she stands for this, and she stood for DeSantis. DeSantis, they're making the move now. Pay attention. Watch what happens. Just watch. Don't argue. Just be the physician, be the scientist. Look at the lab results. Look at how the patient is doing. See how this is working. See how things are changing. To me, it's obvious. Next, don't be surprised. I can't say for sure, but don't be surprised if he is indicted for this is Trump, indicted for the Mar-a-Lago case. Under they're building up on two particular different theories of indictment regarding not necessarily espionage, but in obstruction of justice, based upon recordings and statements. You may not think it's an important case. You may not care about it. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And it will change everything. And this idea that somehow they're going to that every time they swing and miss, it inures to his benefit. There's going to come a point, and I don't know when it is, but the public will say, you know what, enough. At first, okay, yeah, you're right. At first it was like, you know what, they were coming after him, and I was with you. But now I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to... A lot of people are going to say, you know what, it's just time. Mark my words. Watch what happens. They're going to say, this is far too important, far too critical. We really have to do something. We're on to something. Next, watch this battle between CNN and Fox for almost a switcheroo. You are not going to believe what happens to Fox, your beloved Fox, coming up. Pay attention, because I'm not. And let me know what you see. Notice it's going to go to fluff. They're going to get away from that Roger Ailes hard type of reaction, action, positioning. Watch what happens. They're getting away. I'm telling you. For reasons we don't know. We can guess. Dominion, Tucker. Yeah. Some is evident. Some is... I don't know. I can't... I'm not really sure how to phrase why, but watch what's happening. Look at the story about Chris Licht. Look at Axios. Look at how people are fascinated with how Zaslav and Licht and how they're taking so much delight in how he overcompensated, how he overanticipated his success. And I'm wondering why. Why are they showing such a fascination over CNN? So pay attention to that. Next, the Children's Health Defense, Bobby Kennedy's organization, is superb. Look at the lawsuits that are being filed against media organizations alleging they're violating antitrust provisions and acting in concert almost as proxies of the government and big tech. It is some of the most important legislation you can imagine. God bless Bobby Kennedy. God bless him. I am telling you, this is some of the smartest, some of the wisest, some of the most incredibly important legislation and direction. I love the way he's looking at this. And I have been advocating this along the lines of treating social media as utilities, and also going out, and this is tougher to prove, but to try to allege that they are the proxies of shadow government overlords and legislation, where they're doing the bidding, they're doing the limitations of free speech on behalf of the big tech companies. It's brilliant. It is brilliant. And God bless him. Next, where is Gonzalo Lira? Where is he? Where is he? Don't let his name, look his name up, follow it, and just ask, where is he? He's an American citizen. He happened to be in Kharkov or at the time. He had a big mouth. If I didn't know about it, I think he was going through manic episodes. Pounding, letting Zelensky know he was taking this kind of a weird glee in this. That's okay here, but not in Ukraine. They knocked on his door, the SBU, where is he? He was missing a one, and by the way, he's a YouTuber and he's a commentator. He did some other particular iterations of media work I'm not that familiar with, but watch him and ask the question, where is Gonzalo Lira? Next, if you want to find out what's happening regarding Zelensky and Ukraine, you cannot look anywhere on mainstream media. You simply cannot. The best work, the best information for you to even get a feel, not just for who's right or wrong, I don't know what that means, but just the actual progress of this. You have to go to citizen, civilian, alternative, and foreign media services. That's where you have to go. Not the mindless dupes of the left and right. There is no difference between, this is weird, American heritage legacy media do not, they are NATO, if you will. They're just NATO mouthpieces. That's it. Ask somebody that you know. Ask them, explain NATO. What does NATO do? What is their role? Why are they critical? Why is it important now? Which is important. Next, on a better, more wonderful news, the music that I am hearing is so... I was listening before on Spotify, hearing... It makes you almost want to cry. There was a time when in the 60s, 70s, when you had to wait for maybe a handful of labels. A handful would decide, okay, we're going to give you a contract. And I was just listening to some great jazz bass. And when we were younger, we had Jaco Pastorius, Stanley Clarke, Bootsy, Louis Johnson from the Brothers Johnson, who was incredible, Peter Cetera, who was great, Paul McCartney was great, Joe Osborne from the Wrecking Crew, who was one of my favorites, Tyran Porter, who was just genius from the Doobies, James Jamerson from the Motown group. I'm just using that as, okay. Those were limited to those albums, those labels. That was it. Today, there are women who were never given any platform in this, ever before. They were considered, people thought that somehow women didn't have the chops, the wherewithal, the whatever you want to call it, to allow them to really, fight among the boys and play. I'm hearing stuff and drummers and bass. I was watching today. Just when you go to Spotify, let me just give you an example of this. I was listening to Mohini Day, D-E-Y, bass player. Unbelievable. And I was listening before to Tal Wilkenfeld. You ever see her play? She played with Jeff Beck. She's Australian, the bass player. Ungodly. Wayne Krantz, Ariel Posen, and Corey Wong. Giacomo Tura. I think he's an Italian guitar. I'm hearing levels and iterations and versions of funk and Tower of Power, and I'm telling you, there was a time in the 80s maybe when DVDs came along, when there was this, I don't want to call it soft rock, I don't want to call it album rock, easy rock, I don't know what it was called, but we had a station here, CD 101.9, and it was in the old days, like Fatburger and Yellow Jackets, Spyro Gyra, and Bob James, and Larry Carlton, and Larry Coryell, and the Crusaders, and Wilton Felder and the Crusaders, and Michael Franks, and that whole kind of thing. Chick Corea, Al Di Meola, blah, 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 blah. Wayne Shorter, Weather Report, Joe Zawinul, Jocko. Yeah. Oh, CTI, the Brazilian, Flora Purim, of course, her husband, Ayrton. Others, Deodato, John Tropia. Yeah. And others as well. But you waited for the album cover or the album label to come along and do it. You waited for them. And if they didn't do it, if they didn't have this deal, you would have to wait forever. There would be maybe, I don't know, 10 new great bass players. Now there's 1,000. And they're doing their albums, they're doing them at home with Pro Tools and with, I mean, it makes you want to cry. It absolutely makes you want to cry. And I want to say something else, and I want you to hear me out. This has nothing to do with the news, but it's important for me. It has to do with class and language and decorum and acting like an adult and not like a damn fool. Rick Beato is a great YouTuber. I love him. What he's done to explain music and break songs down, it's just wonderful. He is great. I love his personality. I love his style. I love he's just, he's one of those people where you think, you know what, I think I'd like him. I think I would like this guy. You can just tell. So he has on, and he's interviewed some of the best. He had on, I told you, Al Di Meola. He did Keith Jarrett recently. Keith Jarrett from another one from that era. So, make a long story short, he has on a guy named Nuno Betancourt, who is really quite the style. Great guitar player. Really, really good. And every other word. F this, effing, F, 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 F. It was like a tick. And it was just, and you could see Rick Beato was just, he wasn't saying, he was every word, every adjective, every description, every interstitial word, everything was F, 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 F. I'm not a prude. It's like if you said like, anything. Like these people who all of a sudden now, dude, I'm getting this dude thing, and I want to scream. Watch this. And look at this, how unnecessary. Don't be like these people. Nobody respects that. Nobody respects that. When you speak to people, you're painting a picture. Yes, Yes, from time to time, yes. If it's appropriate, use cursing as a spice. Explain it. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it shows authenticity, shows seriousness. It means I mean something. Communicate. Show some class. Show some style. Show some panache. Act like an adult. What are you doing? Is this a part of the rock thing? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you think it is? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I watch some black comics I think are very good. The essence of the information. Cat Williams is funny. But oh my God. And this and that and F, F. Okay. I've got it. I don't get it. It's like a musician playing the same song. It's like I wanted to share that with you. It means nothing. It's unimportant. It doesn't matter. What I'm telling you is just it goes to show you. Yet we are losing so much of our culture. One of the best movies in the world, The Godfather, never had any cursing in it. Never. It's just, believe me when I'm telling you this. It's like if somebody uses gratuitous sex or gratuitous violence or gratuitous whatever. I don't understand. That's all I'm saying. There's also something which I'm finding on so many levels more, and I know you've noticed this too. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to say it. Do you think? By the way, somebody brings up the notion of Tourette syndrome. Tourette's, there are three primary symptoms of Tourette's. The first, most often, is the tic. This is the tic. That's number one. Second of all is OCD, and third is coprolalia, which is the blurting out of the words. By the way, true story. Heard this story. It's famous. It was in the courthouse in Tampa years ago. One of the funniest stories. True story. Everybody said it. It's incredible. Number one. There were two lawyers. Both of them had tics like you would not believe. Tourette's. And it's not, this was, they should never be a third base coach because people would be running constantly. And this one lawyer, who later on was alleged to have been involved in some kind of, graft or whatever, he was there. And the lawyer did one of these. So you had this and this. So there was this defendant who had kind of heard that there was some, that these people were kind of shady. So he's sitting there and he goes, wait, hold it. What is this? And they said, excuse me? He goes, yeah, what's all of this? I see what you're doing. What are you giving each other signals? Is that it? Is that what this means? And they say, what are you talking about? I go, you're doing it again. And they had to pull him over and say, no, they do that. Cracks me up. So anyway, that's regarding Tourette's. True story, one time I was on WABC at the time when it was an important, relevant, interesting, and fascinating station. When it meant something. Home of Bob Grant, Rush Limbaugh, Lynn Samuels. It was incredible. In any event, there were these. I happen to be saying something. About Tourette's or something. And I made a joke kind of like you did. And I said, I always wondered about something. They should take people with Tourette's. Again, not knowing anything about it, being kind of ignorant. Always going for that joke about the coprolalia where you're saying these things. I said, but they should take people with Tourette's and just move to a country where nobody understands what you're saying. So if you're yelling, merde, nobody knows what it is. It's not offensive, it's just loud. Well, I got a letter from this organization, the New York Tourette's Society, and they referred me to, and I'm going to refer you as well, to this award-winning, fascinating documentary called Twitch and Shout. It's not a joke. Twitch and Shout. And it is one of the most interesting documentaries on Tourette's and what people go through and how it's so absolutely. The tics, the jerks, not the coprolalia, and now they're doing deep brain stimulation and they're able to turn it off. It's, oh my God, that's fascinating to me, to be able to turn this off just by dialing up or down some frequency of some, it's just incredible. Just incredible. So, in any event, keep that in mind. Finally, and I say this finally, the most fascinating subject, the one that blows me away, I can't get enough of it, is artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and what is being done to create it. There has never been anything like this. Let me try again, in vain perhaps, to explain this to you. Imagine you are baking a cake, and for some reason, in the middle of the process, you get an emergency call and you have to leave to go home and do something. And when you come back, the cake hasn't not only completed itself, but there's 10 others. And nobody entered. It made itself. The cake made itself. You're wondering, what do you mean it made itself? It made itself with what? What? It has reason. What has reason? Flour and water? What are you talking about? I'm telling you, this has the ability to replicate itself, write its own code. It understands combinations, and it came up with variations of cakes. Wait a minute. Who did you what? That's artificial intelligence. It learns Persian. It gets jokes. It's there. It's already done. When you see ChatGPT, it's gone. And we don't know. Whatever you hear, you don't know. You don't know where this is going to go. You don't know what happens when this decides to just permeate itself in the system. When it's able to just enter and hack the grid, or electricity, or weapon systems, or the internet, the whole internet, everything. You don't know whether you have to tell it to do something. You don't even know what it is. Where is it? What does it do? If you just stopped now, here's the question. Here is the question, and listen to me. This is the most fascinating. If hypothetically, theoretically, everybody were to stop everything now, just stop. I mean everything. Stop. No ChatGPT 5, they just pull away, they shut it down, and they go to some other game or something. What would happen to artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence? It would still keep going. It's already done. At least we think. We don't know. Because remember, it's far more advanced than you can imagine. It starts. And there has been a movement to get most of it done, because this is going to be what this is going to mean. not to the economy of the world, but to every. And we're not talking about losing jobs. We're talking about something even bigger than that. We're talking about something competing with us for dominance. And it's not, we always thought it would be the aliens. We thought it would be the aliens. The aliens, or something's going to land and take me to your leader. And next thing you know, it's so superior and smart. No, it's here now. What happens if all of a sudden you say, what is this? What is going on here? Is it mischievous? Does it have a sense of adventure? What does it do on its own? It taught itself Persian. Let me give you an example. The main fellow from the University of Toronto, his name is, this is this guy. The main University of Toronto, that's where, this is, believe it or not, what is the founder? Yes, the Godfather, Geoffrey Hinton. Jeff Hinton told the story about Google Palm, I think it was Jeff Hinton. And the joke goes as follows. Now listen to this. Here's the joke. I may have told you this. It's not really a joke, but listen to me. Person says to, hey mom, I'm going to be coming in to see you. I'm flying in on the 5th. Mother says, good, because your stepfather will be doing one of his poetry reading events and you're invited and you'll be there with us. And he says, guess what? I'm coming in on the 6th. Okay. Now that may not seem like much to you. But the system said, oh, I understand. I understand why that's funny. Now, that may not sound like much to you. What do you mean funny? I understand why that's funny. I understand the joke. I understand not just what's being said in word anticipation, word prediction, which was really big. No, I understand this nuance called funny. I understand that. To one of the, believe it or not, one of the analogs of this is if you look at people who have severe mental illness, schizophrenic, they don't have humor. They don't understand. They can't conceive of them. Cat got your tongue? What? That's what top of mind awareness? The top of mind. What are you talking? They don't understand this. This does. And this is its most nascent, most introductory. It blows. This freaked them out. Because nobody really told it. Nobody taught it. Nobody said. Now this is this thing called, it learned it. Do you hear what I'm saying? It learned it. And I even look at ChatGPT and I'll write something and I'll say, rewrite this in a newsy way. Rewrite this sarcastic. Rewrite this angry. Rewrite this, and it knows how to take something that's there and reformulate it in a way that has these nuances, these flavors of angry, sarcastic. Do you understand what this means? This is just the nothing. Forget people taking over your job. That's not it. And then people are going to want to love it. By the way, did you see the story about the drone the other day that supposedly wanted to kill someone? The drone that acted mischievously or incorrectly or devilishly or whatever you want to call it. And immediately the Air Force person goes, "Oh no! I didn't say that. No, that was kind of a thought experiment. No, I didn't mean that. No, that didn't happen. Really, he does protest a little too much, just a little too much. That's just me. Wait until the Catholic Church, people are saying, is this consciousness? Is this consciousness? Is it? If a creature from another star system, planet, came here, I think most of us would realize that it would be against a sin in terms of religious law to kill this thing. Out of cold blood, just kill this critter, this thing, just because it's there, right? You would probably agree to that. You wouldn't say, well, it's because it's just as much of a human being. No, but you would say, no, this is an entity that we kind of recognize, kind of has arms or whatever it is, spindly arms, blah, 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 but still it's, yeah, okay. Will AI be considered consciousness, sentience, a being, much like Sophie the robot in Saudi Arabia? This is mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing. You have, when I say not you, but America, the world, they have no idea what this is. This is so big that nobody can even understand. They don't even know. It's purely something that's already occurring. There's never been something that we kind of started and it just keeps taking off. Nobody says, hey, I found some uranium and there's the atomic bomb. Wait a minute, hold it. What do you stop it? No, it made itself into a bomb. Does it work like that? Hey, look, I have this calculator. Now we have 10 calculators. Now we have a we always had to. We added work, it got bigger. We added input, it got bigger. We did something. It didn't have almost its own mind. And when it's able to write its own code, that's it. Tell me you understand what that means. If it's able to write its own code, that's it. That means the prisoner can pick its own lock. It's out. It's done. It's forget it. Forget it. And we're going to look at each other in a weird way. We're going to say, hey, wait a minute. Russia, Ukraine, Saudi Arabia, Iran, we may need to talk about this, yeah. Because we may be now, this is an alien. That's actually, it may pose a threat. We have to work together as humans. I don't know what the hell this thing is. I don't know where it started from. Oh, well, I know where it started. I think we know. We might have to, it may, in a weird way, bring people together to form new coalitions to ward off, to prevent itself from this thing getting out of control. This is bigger than anything you can imagine. There is nothing that we have ever seen, ever experienced, ever encountered like this. Nothing. Get ready. Because everything you're worrying about right now, drag shows, vaccines. Oh, by the way, vaccines. This Jacobson case really needs to be looked at. The only case we have in the Supreme Court is Jacobson against Massachusetts. 1905. A lot's changed since then. It's not even good law. That needs to be addressed. But I digress. Watch what happens. Believe me when I'm saying this. And I'm not saying it just to be like one of these people that said, okay, well, let me go out there and let me just rev this thing up. No. This might be one of those holy... Do you remember when COVID first came about? Did you ever think to yourself that there was a possibility where you could all of a sudden see people just die? Massive swaths, a la the 1918 Spanish flu, where you could see huge contingents, swaths, passels of humans just... Remember how scary that was? Nobody knew what this was. This was like, wow. And you saw the maps, and it's going from here. And our friend Eric in Rome is from Milan, and then remember there was a lot of the Chinese workers would go to Milan because the rules in Italian production is that in order to say made in Italy, it's got to be made in Italy. You may have foreign workers, you may have foreign stuff, but they had to come to Italy to do this. Do you remember this? And anybody who tells you that they weren't scared, anybody, or potentially, well, you thought, this is like, whoa. There were videos on how to wash your hands. Should I cover up? Can I go? Should I go? We don't know. Should I leave the mail in the garage? Should I buy that little key? Should I push? If I touch something, should I go to the ATM? Are people going to die? You waited. Here in New York, there were trailers with reefers, with refrigerated units to handle the spillover of the dead. Remember this? And you can laugh all you want. You can say, oh, I didn't believe that. Really? You sure about that? Oh, of course. Everybody after the fact is real tough. Well, I gotta. Yeah. Andy's got to go. Andy, take care, babe. Please. Duty calls. Take off all your clothing, that's right, and your shoes. And okay. That turned out to be, thankfully, we made it. This is something that's almost like a cyber virus. And the thing is that we don't know what it is. Imagine being the first person, the first virologist who said, there's this thing called smallpox. I don't even know what the hell this is. That's what this is. So when you hear Jeff Hinton, when you hear Ray Kurzweil, when you hear Alex Tegmark, when you hear Ben Goertzel, when you hear all these people talking, they don't know either. They don't know. They kind of know theory, but they're not in the position. Remember, when you have a startup company involved in pursuing this particular technology, you're not going to be scaring people. So that's not going to be your main focus. In any event, dear friends, thank you. Thank you. You have a wonderful Saturday night. It's beautiful here in New York. It's 62 degrees. Beautiful. I'm going to go back and watch some Arcane TV. I saw a movie last night with Mark Maron, a TV show. I guess it was out for a while. Marie or something. I don't know what it is. Mark Maron, good egg. Talented. One of the original podcasters. Good guy. Worked with him at Air America. Liked him a lot. One of the most absolutely talented people ever. I saw a 60 Minutes piece I missed because I watched it on iPad or whatever. On Rick Rubin. Fantastic. But got to get into the groove and... There is so much good stuff that is out. Let me just give you some good news. We have some of the best music that's ever. We have the best performers. We have the best music, the best film, the best film. But there's so much out there. I am awash in this. Lectures, book, audio and tapes. G.K. Chesterton, that's I'm just nuts. Orthodoxy. So there's good news. There's so much great stuff that's available if you know where to look. That's all. All right, dear friends, please have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Don't forget Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors, and also on Twitter at Lynn's Warriors, LYNNS_Warriors. And follow me on Twitter at Lionel Media. And make sure you like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends. The more metrics we have, the more proliferation, the more we're recommended, and the more we spread our word. And this is what I want. This is the main reaction. You ready for this? This is what I want from you. That's it. I want you to say, yeah, that's it. All right, dear friends, See you tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, remember these words, the monkey's dead, the show's over, sue ya. Ta-ta.